Island rapper Lil Peep is bridging the gap between early 2000s emo rock and the feels-gripping mainstream hip-hop today. The sounds on Peep's debut album, Come Over When You're Sober Part 1, take influences from the trap beats of Metro Boomin,
want some more, nigga. Me and Metro don't need help.
and the lyrical, raw teenage angst of emo bands like Taking Back Sunday.
It's you could slit my throat, and with my one last gasping breath, I'd apologize for bleeding on your shirt.
To create what people are calling emo rap.
Running away from you takes time and pain. I don't even want to. Chains on shining, you can see me riding. Cocaine lined up, secrets that I'm hiding.
Peep isn't the only rapper putting their inner pain on wax today. Lil Uzi Vert's EXO tour life dealt with the loss of his girlfriend Britney. Young Thug's Beautiful Thugger Girl was full of emotion. Future's Hendrix, one of his most vulnerable bodies of work, topped the charts. And Trippie Redd's Love Scars contains the tortured, heartbreaking angst that was a staple of emo rock.
You used to say you in love, I used to say shit back, and that shit from the heart. Now look where the fuck are we at?
However, what makes Lil Peep's music unique is his ability to effortlessly straddle both worlds of emo rock and hip-hop, leading critics to place him at the forefront of the new wave of emo rap. Peep himself does not necessarily want to hold this title, but he does own that he's influenced by emo rock bands. In an interview with Pitchfork, he said, quote, "I would listen to underground bands and shit, but I wouldn't call my music the new emo necessarily. It's a whole new thing, and it's good for the emo genre as a whole, and all the fans and all the people who ever liked it, because it's going to keep it relevant."
It's a new day, but it all feels old. It's a good life, that's what I'm told.
Emo, or emotive hardcore, is a subgenre of rock music that first began in the late 80s with bands like Embrace and Rites of Spring. Their songs were filled with emotionally vulnerable lyrics.
And yes, of course I'm scared of getting hurt. And yes, of course I'm scared of being wrong. And I said I play in the arms of a God, play.
The subgenre had its heyday in the early to mid 2000s when bands like Dashboard Confessional, Panic at the Disco, Paramore, and others delivered music that evoked teen angst, heartbreak, and tortured anxiety in a visceral way.
So much for all the promises you made. They served you well, but now you're gone and they're wasted on me. I chime in with a haven't you people ever heard of closing a goddamn door. Nothing compares to a quiet evening alone. Just the 1, 2. I was just counting on.
Linkin Park was one of the most popular bands to combine emo rock with rap through the voice of the late Chester Bennington and Mike Shinoda.
Meant to be will eventually be a memory of a time I tried so hard
And got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Emo fell out of vogue towards the end of the decade, but at around this time, rappers like Kanye West, Kid Cudi, and Drake began putting their own heartbreak on wax, letting their feels kick in the door of mainstream hip-hop.
Fuck that nigga that you love so bad. I know you still think about the times we had.
I've got some issues that nobody can see, and all of these emotions are pouring out of me.
In the night I hear him talk, the coldest story ever told. Somewhere far along this road he lost his soul to a woman so heartless.
While Kanye took emotive rap to the mainstream, it had already been a staple of the underground for years.
And everyone in his life would mistake it as love. Everyone in his life would mistake it as love. Everyone in his life would mistake it as love.
Lil Peep began making waves on SoundCloud with his 2016 mixtape releases Crybaby and Hellboy. His early music borrowed heavily from the emo rock bands he cites as influences.
Do you understand? It's only you, beautiful.
Oh, it's a lonely world, I know. Gon' get a lonely girl, that's for sure.
I got hit hard, I'm on the ground.
I'm a motherfucking schemer boy, I'm a dreamer boy. I love a girl that don't even fucking need a boy, baby.
Lil Peep is one of the latest entries in a long line of rap and rock crossover, but this merging of emo and trap surely stands out. However, what is yet to be seen is whether this subgenre is here to stay or will peter out the way emo rock did in the late 2000s. I'm Jacques Morel with Genius News, bringing you the meaning and the knowledge behind the music. Peace.